Welcome to Brilliant Assessments, a white label platform for creating assessments that produce automated, personalized feedback. Brilliant Assessments is utilized for a wide range of assessment types, including individual assessments, group and team assessments, 360-degree reviews, evidence-based and audit-based assessments, among many others. Brilliant Assessments can expand alongside your assessment needs. Perhaps you start by conducting an assessment with 100 respondents and later scale up to a widely distributed assessment with thousands of respondents. Or maybe you develop an assessment so exceptional that you wish to sell it and give clients their own portals. Whatever your scalability ambitions are, we are here to support you on your journey and help you grow your assessment capabilities. In this demonstration, we will begin by exploring assessment formats through the lens of example reports. Then we will explore how assessments are constructed, followed by how reports and results are generated. Lastly, we will walk through different ways of distributing assessments. To keep us on track, we'll use a leadership skills assessment as an example. In this scenario, Northbridge Digital Services is assessing their organizational leaders to identify top talent and begin succession planning. The majority of this assessment consists of slider-based, Likert-style questions and open-text responses. At the end of the assessment, respondents are asked to upload a 2-page proposal outlining what they would do if they were the CEO. So let's begin at the end by examining examples of the feedback reports. What sets Brilliant Assessments apart is that every answer and any combination of answers can generate specific, personal, and automated feedback. Feedback can be delivered in several ways, such as live web-based results, polished PDF reports, or editable Word documents. Within these reports, you may include charts, personalized feedback text, AI-generated insights, scores, and much more. Let's start by examining a results page for an individual respondent. In this case, employee Amelia. This page appears immediately after she completes her assessment. The top tiles display headline results, such as the overall assessment score and feedback. In the next row, there are 2 charts. The circumplex chart shows how subsection scores compare to others in Amelia's department, while the multi-bar chart compares her to peers at her role level. This point of comparison is called a benchmark, enabling Amelia to see how she measures against similar individuals. We can click on sections of the bar chart to drill down into question-level scores and feedback specific to the selected subsection. In this case, the feedback includes a video and links to helpful resources. Everything displayed here is dynamically generated based on Amelia's responses and the scores they achieve. At the bottom of the page, there is a button allowing her to download her PDF feedback report. This was also emailed to Amelia directly after submitting her response. Let's take a closer look at this now. What's great about our PDF reports is that they are created in Word. This means that anything you can do in Word, you can do in a Brilliant Assessments report, making it simple to add your personal touch to your feedback. In Amelia's report, we include an overview page that shows a breakdown of scores in a bar chart. Next is a circumplex chart showing performance in each assessment area compared with all respondents. Under this chart, we have the top strengths and weaknesses in Amelia's assessment. As we move through the report, we get a structured breakdown by different criteria, with feedback presented as rating text. Ratings are effectively score bands. When a respondent achieves a rating, they'll see the aligned rating text if this is merged into the report. We'll come back to this later when we talk about the assessment structure. This report uses entirely predefined automated feedback, which is most common when you are delivering feedback directly to respondents, because it allows you to have full control over what reports say. Now, let's shift perspectives and explore a different kind of feedback approach, an assessor report. This type of report is typically sent to a coach, manager, or assessor once a response has been completed. We've adjusted the design to showcase some of the styles you can achieve. Although the assessor report looks similar at first glance, you may notice it features an assessment category called Leadership in Action. We use this to indicate the scoring of Amelia's open text responses and uploaded materials, which are generated by AI interpretations. Under each section of the assessor report, we've included a horizontal bar chart that displays the AI score for Amelia's open text answer. Additionally, we have provided a list of Amelia's responses for reference. On the following page, for each section, we've used AI interpretation to compile a signal summary. This brings together Amelia's self-assessed choices, written responses, and structured prompts to produce a clear analysis of her leadership readiness. Lastly, we include an analysis of her uploaded CEO proposal. All AI interpretations are stored within the system alongside Amelia's response record. Assessors can review the text and lock in the final feedback as they see fit or rerun the interpretation. This allows you to prepare and approve the AI-generated components of your reports without leaving the system. Now let's zoom out. In Brilliant Assessments, responses can be compiled into a top-level view using a cohort report. A cohort can be any group of responses, but it is often used to compare responses across teams or organizations, or to gather 360-degree feedback. This cohort report reviews all respondents to the leadership assessment. Here, you can see the overall average scores, the distribution of self-assessed scores in a spider chart, and leadership in action scores split by role level in this circumplex chart. Next, this heat map highlights the strongest and weakest areas across the assessment, providing a quick visual overview of top performers and outliers. Each section displays a multi-bar chart of self-assessed scores split by department. The breakdown then presents overall scores and an AI interpretation summary. It's also possible to present cohort feedback in web-based results pages like the one shown here. When an assessment is repeated, for instance, if the team undergoes training and then resubmits their answers for reassessment, that is called an iteration. Iterations are often used to demonstrate progress and changes over time. In this example, we present a simple before and after snapshot for pre- and post-training. There is no limit to the number of iterations you can report on in your feedback. So far, we've looked at a wide range of different feedback reports and formats at various levels of the assessment. Now, let's go behind the scenes and walk through the portal. One of the first things you'll notice when you sign into Brilliant Assessments is that it's completely white-labeled. Every part of Brilliant Assessments can feature your branding, including the logo, the URL of your assessment portal, your colors, the assessment itself, and of course, your reports. In the Administer menu, you'll find your assessments, and your trial account will include some examples for exploration. But before you start creating your assessment, you might want to visit Site Settings. Site Settings impact all your assessments and your portal. Here, you can also manage more detailed features by toggling them on and off. When a feature is toggled on, additional configuration options may appear in a new tab. In Site Settings, you can also personalize the portal by adding or editing your branding. Now let's explore an assessment in greater detail, focusing on the one we've been using in our scenario, the Leadership Assessment. When you click on an assessment, the Assessment Builder opens. The builder is designed to mirror the assessment process for the respondent. Assessments are organized as follows. Sections appear like pages across the top of the assessment, serving almost as a navigation menu. Each section is divided into subsections, grouping relevant questions by topic. There is no limit to the number of questions within a subsection, nor to the number of subsections in a section. These structural elements are entirely optional. In the Assessment Builder, you'll notice buttons at the top that facilitate quick navigation through assessment details and feedback. Clicking Show Instructions displays any instructions available for each question. Selecting Show Feedback reveals the feedback or rating text linked to each section, subsection, and answer. You can choose different rating text levels. For example, if you have different feedback for your results page and your PDF report, or different reports for assessors and respondents. This ensures the feedback makes sense for the recipient and format. You can also test your assessment at any time, which launches a sample response, allowing you to see how respondents will experience it. The structure in Brilliant Assessments is a key reference for automating scoring. The section score is the weighted average of all of the subsection scores. The subsection score will average all of the answer scores, and a question will obviously reflect the points that are associated with the answer. Each question has a maximum number of points assigned to it. To exclude a question from scoring, set the max score to 0. If your scoring falls outside the structure of your assessment, you can use segmentations to connect questions or answers within a custom score group. There's one more aspect of the Assessment Builder we need to review: the assessment settings. The general settings are crucial to configure, as these will inform your AI suggestions. You should give your assessment a name that clearly reflects its purpose and a detailed description to provide the AI with the necessary context for accurate support. Brilliant Assessments also supports hundreds of languages. Here, you can select the language for your assessment from the options you've set up. You can deploy your assessment in multiple languages as required and set up translations for buttons and messages within your assessment. Moving down the page, you can make quick selections to ensure you receive the response quality you need for your assessment. For example, you might choose that all questions must be answered to save a section. In the Design tab, you can customize the appearance of your assessment. You can add colors, background images, define the width of the content panel, and set colors and fonts at each level of the assessment. For group assessments like ours, you can also navigate to the Cohort tab and select the appropriate cohort type, whether that's a group, a single respondent, or a 360 assessment. In the Emails tab, you can manage the default emails sent to respondents. By default, a welcome email is set up, providing respondents with a link to the assessment. There is also a reminder email, which can be sent a specified number of days after the welcome email or before the assessment completion deadline. Lastly, there is a completion email. If set up, this will include your PDF report as an attachment and a link to your chosen results page. All these emails are optional and can be customized with your branding, links, and company email address. Now, let's move to a very important tab, the Ratings tab. Your ratings are the foundation of your assessment scores. You can also set up advanced ratings if you want to apply multiple scoring systems. In this assessment, we have 3 rating levels. The maximum score is the upper limit for a rating category. For example, the first rating category is developing. If a respondent scores 60% or less, they will be placed in this category. If they score between 61% and 85%, they will be considered practicing. Lastly, if they score 86% or higher, they will be in the leading category. Under each rating, we can assign a name and a color, which is used in charts by default. The rating text you set here will be used for the overall assessment feedback. If you like, you can also set a rating image, which you can then merge into reports. This is typically an icon or small image indicating the rating achieved. Once you've finished editing your settings, you can press Save and go back to the Assessment Builder. Now that you've taken a tour of the portal, let's see how you can go from a blank page to a complete assessment. Return to the assessment menu and click on Add Assessment. If your assessment is already designed, you can enter it directly into the system or use our upload feature, as explained in the help text. If you're starting from scratch, AI Suggest is very helpful. Let's begin by building some sections. First, hover over Section 1, click on AI Suggest, and select Section. The prompt provided here can be edited to suit your needs, and the additional details will take the assessment description. You can manage your default prompts by clicking the AI Prompts button. Under AI Settings, you can also swiftly change the assessment name, description, and respondent type to give AI more to work with. Let's add a name and call this the Succession Planning Assessment, and include a description outlining our objectives. When we press Run, we receive a list of potential sections for our assessment. But we've been given several sections to choose from, so let's go back and limit this to 4 key main topics. And just like that, we have our sections. Now let's press Save Sections, and as you can see here, these sections now appear in the assessment. Let's navigate to Leadership Potential and add some subsections. Again, we'll hover over the AI Suggest button, but this time select Subsection. The prompt here asks for 5 subtopics to cover, but let's change it to 3. When we click Run, we can see 3 key subtopics. All of these are very good, but actually, let's put Influence and Impact first. When you're ready, press Save Subsections, and the subsections will appear. You can also use AI Suggest to generate questions by hovering over the AI Suggest button at the subsection level and selecting questions. This is where your default answer groups become very useful. You can choose the format. Let's select Slider for this one, and then set your default answers. Let's pick a 5-step always to never scale. The prompt uses the subsection name as context, and here in curly brackets, the default answer group name is based on your selected answer options. This helps ensure the question matches the available answers. Press Run, then click Save Questions, and your questions will be ready for the assessment. Sometimes, however, it may not make sense to use AI Suggest to generate questions for your assessment. For example, in the first section, you might want to ask for information such as name, email, address, and so on. To do this, select Add Question at the subsection level and name the question Name. Next, choose the answer format. We'll make this a text box and add 1 answer. As you can see here, 0 points can be assigned to an answer, which is correct since you wouldn't normally score someone for providing their name. Under Options, you can specify whether it's required, add a validation message for when the field is missed, and link to the response settings. This is very useful if you are inviting respondents directly, as it pre-fills the assessment information. You can also tag segmentations and classifiers as needed. Under Instructions, let's tell our respondents to provide their full names and display the instructions after the question, rather than before. Hit Save, and we have now manually created a question. So now we've covered the key elements of the assessment portal, the builder, and how to create your assessment questions. How do we produce that all-important feedback? Feedback in Brilliant Assessments is stored as rating text, and AI Suggest really proves useful when it comes to writing it. Let's select one of the subsections we created earlier to demonstrate. When we open the subsection, each rating level will appear as tabs. This is where we add our feedback for each score band. By clicking AI Suggest, we can quickly generate a draft. Let's use the preset prompt for this. As you can see, AI has generated a paragraph of feedback for you that you can edit to suit your preferences. When you're finished, press Save or move on to the next rating band. AI Suggest can also be used to generate rating text at the answer level. Simply click the question, then select the answer options. The default prompt at this level will incorporate the question and answer for context. Once you're ready, press Save. Again, using AI Suggest is optional, but a great way to get past the blank box and speed up the creation of feedback. Now that we understand how to build an assessment, how do we generate results? Results can serve various purposes, such as summarizing all assessments in your portal, capturing results for an entire assessment, or reporting on cohorts by aggregating groups of responses or individual respondents. This type of results page typically appears upon completion. When you first load your results page, you will want to set the test data. This can be any response from your portal and helps you visualize the results as you build. Let's select Amelia's pre-training assessment response. What we see here is exactly what Amelia will see on her results page. Results are organized into tiles and containers. Containers can be set to always display or be available on demand. An on-demand container only shows when triggered by, for example, a section in a bar chart. They can also be triggered by text links or other chart types. This is just one example. So, how do we add containers and tiles? To add a container, select Container from the Add menu. By default, it will be added at the bottom of your results screen. Now let's add some tiles. Tiles can also be added via the Add menu and can be stacked horizontally or vertically. For this demonstration, let's choose a full-width tile and drag it into our demonstration container. To modify the tile's contents, select the pencil icon in your tile editor. Inside tiles, you can add a wide variety of elements. For example, you might start by giving your tile a title, which can be plain text and formatted as you wish. The assessment information and charts are added to a tile through the Merge Manager, visible on the right. Let's create a multi-bar chart. First, select a multi-bar chart from the drop-down menu. Next, choose to show sections and select all sections for your chart. Let's also add a benchmark. The benchmark used for this chart will be the roll level. As you can see, the merge string has been constructed alongside our selections. Click Save, and now you can view all the section level scores for Amelia, alongside the average scores for all the directors. What about creating a PDF report? It's actually quite simple to build merge strings in your PDF report too. The main difference is that you'll construct your report in Microsoft Word instead of in your web browser. The Merge Manager is available as a free add-in for Microsoft Word. Once you've installed it, first select your report from the drop-down menu. In this example, we're reviewing the assessor report. Then, in the Merge Manager, create your merge strings in the same way as you did for your results page. When you click on a merge string, it will automatically load the merge type in the Merge Manager panel. If we select this chart merge string here, you'll see that it's a multi-bar chart displaying segmentations with two benchmarks, labels shown, height and width adjusted, as well as chart colors. When you're finished, simply go back to the Document tab and click Upload. This will upload your report to the back end of Brilliant Assessments. In this section, we've covered how to add your rating text, build results pages, and create PDF reports. Now it's time to get your assessment to the respondents. Most of the distribution features in Brilliant Assessments are found in the Assessment Manager menu. Under Responses, you can add respondents by clicking Add Response. Here, you select the assessment you want to invite the respondent to and enter their details. Additional options are available under the Options tab. The Upload button allows you to upload a list of respondents to invite to respond. The system will automatically send a personalized welcome email to each respondent, including a unique link to their response. In addition to these methods, there are many other ways of inviting respondents. For example, you can create an external link to initiate a response or initiate a cohort and embed this on your website. On each response, clicking the Action menu reveals a range of options. Here, you can view the response settings, revisit the response itself, review interpretations, download reports, or view the completion page, often a results page. Now, under Cohorts, you can manage groups of responses. Let's view our existing cohort to demonstrate. In the General tab, you'll find the key information about the cohort. Under Iterations, you'll see we have set up pre- and post-training iterations. In the Respondents tab, you can also invite respondents to your assessment. Inviting respondents here will by default add them to the cohort. It's also possible to link responses to your cohort retrospectively if they have already completed the assessment. To access your cohort reports, simply navigate to the Cohort Reports tab. To review interpretations that apply at the cohort level, navigate to the Interpretations tab. If you would like to distribute your assessment through partners or have customers who manage their own responses, we highly recommend exploring our partner portals. Partner portals coexist alongside your main portal, but show a trimmed-down view of the assessment manager. The level to which a customer or client can customize their portal is ultimately in your control. For example, you can force portals to use your branding or allow partners to add their own. In effect, partner portals allow you to scale the distribution of your assessment and resell your expertise. For more information on the partner portal, please watch our other videos. And that's a wrap. In this demo, we've shown you examples of reports, walked through the assessment portal, covered the building blocks for creating an assessment from scratch, and shared some of the ways you can distribute your assessment. However, there's so much more we could explore, so as a next step, we recommend booking a demonstration with our team. During this, we can walk through an example that more closely aligns with your assessment goals. Thank you for watching this demonstration of Brilliant Assessments. We look forward to seeing you build, brand, and be brilliant with your assessments soon.